You know, the digital space is where growing numbers of people are shaping culture, consuming culture, and encountering it on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis. So arts organizations, we cannot afford to not be in that space.
I think we started off looking at digital as a very experimental thing, right? So we wanted to make it a lot more dynamic in the way that visitors engage with our content, right?
It started with very simple things, so large TV screens, interactive touch screens, QR codes being used, using simple multimedia to deliver more content, and then it even extends into use of AR, VR, and then more recently we've seen a lot of 360 experiences that you can engage in even when you're outside of the museum.
For Esplanade, one of the things that we've always given as a promise to audiences is that every day, whenever you step into the centre, you can watch a performance. So with COVID, when the centre shut down, we had to really bring that energy, that accessibility of performances online. So we did that in a variety of ways. In the initial stages, we used performances from our archives. At the later stages, rather than just film performances straight up, we thought, what if we were to open up the concert hall, really show behind-the-scenes moments, insights into the acoustics, things that audiences don't get to see.
Suddenly, it became an imperative to really be focused on a much larger scale of content production, a much higher refresh rate. And since then, I think, after all this digital experiences that we created, when the museum reopened, we were now looking at how to integrate the physical experience with the digital experience. And we're moving to what we call phygital.
We still want visitors to physically visit with us. But digital then becomes an interesting means by which we can layer on perspectives, becoming a means to extend your visit. So it's not a replacement, and that's an important connection that we were able to make.
All that we want to do aside, we also know that it's very important to understand our audiences, to know where they are, and to understand the platform so that we can connect with them.
As with all things, digital is really a new space that requires new sets of skills that you need to build up. Skill sets like design thinking.
What design thinking really advocates is to strip away the technology, basically putting ourselves in the shoes of the user or the visitor. And then when you do that, you will be able to identify the points of delight, but also the pain points. And then when you get to a solution, you don't just stop there, you try to break the solution. So you throw different scenarios at it, and that usually strengthens the solution even further. So that's actually more sustainable than just chasing after the latest and the hottest technology.
Because when you move into digital, there's also the other aspect of it, which is accessibility. How do we not leave people behind as we are moving towards this whole kind of digital transformation track? You start looking at things like UX, user experience, versus customer experience, CX, versus UI, user interface. So these are terminologies that you probably need to get around.
The thing is that no one individual will have all of these skills, right? It's not possible to find. This brings into focus the ability to work collaboratively across teams and to make connections between different areas of knowledge. I mean, I was a former arts journalist, but I've had to learn from my colleagues about things like data analytics. I mean, introductory data analytics, of course, and IT. And I'm still learning, but this learning mindset, I think, is very important for digital.
I think one of the benefits of digital is really that you can start things that are quite small and still have a big impact. On our own, I think we're really pretty small individual institutions, so it is important for us to really look across as an ecosystem to see how our digital offerings are able to link up, right? So it's not just to the benefit of one museum or two museums, but really how do we uplift the sector as a whole by investing in companies, investing in ideas, allowing for these things to take root. Not everything succeeds, certain things of course fail, but that's equally important because we are able to learn from it and importantly share it across the sector.
we have to remember what our core is, and our core is still about creating dialogues with our visitors and audiences. I have a motto of 3 S's when it comes to technology. Keep it simple, keep it short, and don't supersize your technology just for the sake of it. Instead, don't underestimate the low-tech, low-fi solution if that's what your visitors and audiences might prefer.
So what's important for small organizations, as well as larger ones, is to test out ideas and find a good fit for how it can benefit your organization moving forward.
It can be as intuitive as finding the right platform, understanding it, and marrying an approach to that platform with the right kind of storytelling.